All right, I'm going to try not to squirrel too much. I'm just going to try and get some of these thoughts off my chest in doing the research that I've been doing and the life that I've lived. So to start with, I'm a massage therapist by trade, and that's put me around a lot of weird people my whole life. And so, like, a lot of what I went researching and a lot of what I'm going to be talking about, I've stumbled onto, and I've always just been seeking answers for, like, what I found, right? Another example of that, and this is a story I'll tell another time, but, like, my first Kundalini experience, that I would call a Kundalini experience, I was actually seeking a more Abrahamic, Judeo-Christian style of, like, experience. Not really seeking the experience. I don't know. I was fasting and meditating, right? Like, let's break it down for what it is, you know? So, well, I had the experience that I had, and then I tried to make sense of it. And when I went to all the people who were, like, supposedly supposed to be my spiritual mentors, you know, they all told me I was fucking with Kabbalah and mysticism and weird shit. When, like, all I'd really done was, like, done what the book fucking told me. You know, I fasted and meditated and considered the scriptures I was reading. So, like, I don't know. Is there Kabbalah hidden in my book? Or, like, whatever. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I've been a massage therapist my whole life. Or, not my whole life. Since I was 19. I'm 33 now. Almost 34. And so, like, I've been doing it longer than I haven't in 2 more years. So, but anyways, I've been around a lot of weird people my life. By what the mainstream, what the conservative right would call weird people, right? I'm also really, really traveled. Just been a lot of places. I was raised in Alaska. I live in Texas now. I've been a lot of places, both sides of that weird diagonal line. And, you know, so I spent some time in Indiana, you know, is the particular story that I'm on. There's always going to be people that exist in the unseen realms. I don't think I said that part on camera, and that was kind of the point. There's always going to be people who exist in the unseen realms of like peoples, of individuals on this planet. And I apologize, the video coming in like incontextual. I'm just like coming in. I was telling myself this story. I was kind of doing a brain dump for myself off camera, and then I bring it on camera. And anyways, squirrel. So, like, what I mean by there's always going to be people that exist in the unseen realms. There's always going to be people who attain that shit through, like, being initiated or taught through some mystic school or some weird fucking cult that's endured, or some, like, weird fucking, right? You know, just cockroach ideology that's hidden under a rock. Or like Japheth, they're gonna fucking find a book and be fucking, you know, misled by the book itself. I think it was Japheth. It might have been Shem. One of Noah's, I'm pretty sure it's Japheth. But one of Noah's sons fell to ideas, and one of Noah's sons fell to bad breeding, if you want to call it that. You know, poor bloodlines. You know, his wife was a girl from Canaan, so, you know, all his kids from that family were fucking half and quarter Canaanites. So, but I'm digressing. So I had this massage therapist co-therapist, right? And I can't substantiate this first part, but the first part, she was like, I'm a resurrected Atlantean. And, like, I remember the days of Atlantis and this and that. I don't know. She was kooky, man. But the next 2 things she could do were just given to her. And that's part of what I mean. There's always going to be these people who are just gifted these fucking things and have to make sense of it their whole fucking life. Because, like, she was a massage therapist, but she wasn't like... I got into it. I got into massage therapy because of the ethos, right? Like, I want to help people. I'm wired like Jacob, you know. I want to fucking dwell indoors and serve others. Like, So I'm just wired that way. And I found that I was good at connects. I was a good engineer. I have a good mathematical mind, but I don't like math or reports. So I got into massage therapy for the ethos to help people in a way that was short of surgery, because I don't want to be cutting on people and shit, right? And so this is just about out. So I got into it for that reason. She, on the other hand, she just did it because she was an attractive, when she got into it originally, right? When I met her, she was almost 40 and had just built up a fucking good clientele at this point. So might as well, right? Might as well keep going. And she didn't know shit about, I'm sorry. If she ends up hearing this, I'm sorry that I'm saying it. And she didn't know shit about massage, but she was gifted. Okay? When she closed her eyes and ran her fucking hands over another person's fascial network, little blue lights would go off in her mind's eye when she was over a part that needed tending. So she just got to do massage because some bullshit women are fucking psychically gifted, genetics shit. And she was probably right. She probably was some fucking reincarnated Atlantean or some shit. I don't fucking know. Cause she had just had these gifts, but she squandered them. She squandered the shit out of them. She could be fucking fixing world problems, but she, does it to make $60 in 45 minutes and go fuck with her ex-boyfriends and shit, because the other thing she could do was astrally project, on command, every night when she went to bed. She's yeah, every night. And the fuller the moon is, the further she could go while she astrally projected. And I didn't even believe that she could astrally project until she started coming in. She just started walking into my dreams and shit. And I don't have very many. That was one thing she substantiated, was that she said it was hard to fuck with me, not because I had some defense, but because I didn't dream very often. Because my brain is cracked, right? So, and I'll tell that story later. But yeah, she was so there's something for those of us who are cracked in the head. You're not fuckwittable in the unseen realm, because they can't get in. You ain't got a coherent aura. That's also why you can't astrally project, by the way. That's why we can't astrally project. It's why we can't fucking, what's that other one? Lucid dream. She could lucid dream if she wanted to, but that required her staying with her body. And I asked her about it, I got curious and I asked her about it. I was like, who taught you how to astrally project? She's like, no one. She's like, I've done it since I was 7 or 8. I was a little girl when I started doing this. I just did it one night. And I was like, well, fuck me, right? Because, I don't know, back in my teens, when I went through massage school and I got exposed to my first sense of, Eastern theories, Indian, Ayurvedic shit, and you started understanding energy. Thank God for Dan Winters helping me understand it's all electrical engineering. It's all plasma direction. That's all we are. We're these fucking, I've been absolutely right my whole life that we are just these weird, we are human beings. Our physical incarnation, time, our experience as whatever being we are currently experiencing, hearing me on this talk or me speaking this, this version of me, we are what's that word? What are those trees? It's that tree, the bonsai. We are like bonsai trees, right? In this it's a weird metaphor, but hang on with me. And then inside of this weird bonsai tree is a jellyfish being that kind of drives it around, right? Think Men in Black, the little gray dudes, the itty bitty ones, the little tiny ones inside the man suit. The face opens up and he's in the chair, right? We're like driven by these little jellyfish things. That is our brain and central nervous system. And then down in our gut is full of all these bugs, all these fucking trillions of cells. And like feeding on some of those cells, depending on how far in and out you zoom, right? Because like you start to zoom out each layer and it starts to give kind of organization to what you're viewing, right? You go out each layer and then you pull out to like, you pull out to the integumentary system. That's a term we don't really use anymore, but that means the whole gut. That's the whole gut. The integumentary system is like 1904 medical science term for like the whole gut. Before we specialized to a point where we was talking about the integumentary system individually, the individual kidney, the individual spleen, the individual liver, the individual stomach, the individual intestine, et cetera, right? But when it was just considered like, the system, and it was, looked at a little more objectively and a little further out, you could see inversions of things, for one. Now I'm kind of getting onto a rant because like, just the medical system is flawed, but whatever. Because like the understanding the pH balance of the human body, is a weird thing, and that's because of the intersections of like this jellyfish body of your central nervous system and your more and more physical body. The more you get superficial, that becomes more of these layers. Like the tree, like I was saying, down to the point where like our fingerprints kind of look like tree rings, our lungs kind of look like a full tree system. Like if you take a picture of a tree and turn it upside down, or turn it sideways, I think it ends up looking like the arteries of the lung when filled. Like nature, we're all just kind of arranged and informed out into this three-dimensional system, and then this form that we're given, that's what we as humans are, right? And as over time it changes, right? Because like when we're kids, we're all fluid. Like, scientists like to say, like I always see this like thrown around in prenatal and toddler care health sciences when I have to study that shit. It's like infants are 85% water or some shit, right? That's what they like. And then I always think of that Avengers meme of like, it's an oversimplification of things, but yes. So, but that's where I'm going to pause it today. Anyways, I got a phone call coming in, probably a client. So y'all have a great day. Peace.